This is the Randi Rhodes Show. To speak with Randi, dial 561-270-3844. That's 561-270-3844.
Okay, so we all heard and saw this.
It's the enemy from within, all the scum that we have to deal with that hate our country. That's a bigger enemy than China and Russia.
I think the bigger problem is the enemy from within, not even the people that have come in and destroying our country. By the way, totally destroying our country. The towns, the villages, they're being inundated. But I don't think they're the problem in terms of election day. I think the bigger problem are the people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. It should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military.
Oh. Well, that sounds threatening to me as a member of the progressive left. That sounds like a threat to me. It sounded like a threat to Adam Schiff. Sounded like a threat to Nancy Pelosi. She took it that way too. Lots and lots of people who have had the courage to stand up and say, this man is a lunatic. He's irresponsible. He's certainly, a threat to America. Mark Milley. Okay, so Mark Milley just recently told for Bob Woodward's new book, War, which just came out this week, he told Bob Woodward that he had seen glimpses of Donald Trump being an autocrat, of Donald Trump being a fascist when he was serving with him. But now he knows that he is a to the core fascist. He's fascist to the core is the exact quote. And that's General Mark Milley, who was the Joint Chiefs of Staff when Donald Trump was the president of the United States. Mark Milley was there on the day that Donald Trump wanted to clear Lafayette Square Park. Remember that day? Remember that? Esper was there too, the Secretary of Defense. And Donald Trump wanted to know if the military could just kill the people, shoot them, and get them out of Lafayette Square Park so that he could get on with his very important work of walking through the park and going to the little church that's at the end of the park and hold up a Bible that he got out of Ivanka's purse to hold it upside down. I mean, really. And he asked, can't you just shoot them in the leg? I mean, you're saying you can't kill them, but can you just shoot them in the leg? And last night, when Kamala Harris was sitting down with Bret Baier, which, by the way, first they said she doesn't do any sit-down interviews. Then she started doing sit-down interviews and going on 60 Minutes and going on Howard Stern and going on podcasts and going on 60 Minute, whatever. Then they said, oh, she's only talking to friendlies. That's all she's doing. And now she's on Fox News and she's sitting there for a half an hour with him. And Bret Baier literally destroyed his entire, I don't even want to say reputation, but I think his career is over. I think he's gone. And he should have been gone. I don't know how many people realize what Bret Baier did on election night 2020 when the Fox News election desk called Arizona for Joe Biden and said that Donald Trump had lost the election, essentially, right? Bret Baier was going crazy. Oh my God, the viewers are going to, they're not happy with this. The viewers are revolting. We have to take back the call. We have to take back the call. And of course, it was the right call. It was the truth. But that's who Bret Baier is. And people say he's the journalist over there. He's the journalist over there. So Bret Baier decided, that Kamala Harris accepted an invitation. Now, Donald Trump was offered an invitation to sit down with Fox News, too, you remember? And also a debate. He was offered a debate on Fox News to debate Kamala Harris on Fox News, a friendly organization, where you could expect truncated questions and questions that have been manipulated to produce, answers that could be a viral soundbite for Donald Trump, right? Like Hillary Clinton's deplorable, something like that. Donald Trump won't even take them up on this because Donald Trump is not okay. He's not. And so he won't even show up there. Well, Kamala Harris actually showed up there. And Bret Baier started to interview her like right out of the gate about immigration. Do you regret anything you've done on immigration? And don't you, how many people did you let into the country? Was it 5 million? Was it 10 million? Was it 25 million? Was it 485 million people? All of them criminals. How many? How much blood do you have on your hand? I mean, he just started down there. And she was like, let me answer the question. Just let me answer the question, okay? I mean, it was so bizarre. It was so crazy.
The interview heated from the start.
It was essentially a pathway to citizenship for the elite. Yes, ma'am.
May I finish responding, please?
But
you have to let me finish,
you
please.
had the
After struggling in recent days to show how she would govern differently from President Biden, the vice president trying to put a clear distance between herself and the administration she still serves in, but not pinpointing any major policy shifts.
Get out of here.
Let me be very clear. My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency.
I just, and they're still doing it. Okay, this is the friendly media that they say she sat down with. This is the friendly media that says, oh, but she didn't give any examples. Of course she gave examples. She said, I'm a new generation of governing. Okay, I am a completely new generation of leader. And let me give you examples were the next words out of her mouth. Let me give you examples. And then she talked about, I would like to invest in building housing. I would like to create more housing inventory. More supply to meet the demand would lower the cost of housing. I would like to give small businesses $50,000 in a tax credit to be used in any year when they first, when they become profitable, that this tax credit does not have to be used in the first year. It doesn't have to be used in the second year. It can be used during the first year that the company is profitable to offset the taxes on earned income. I would like to give first-time home buyers a $25,000 down payment tax credit or some form of down payment for their first home to help them get their foot in the door. She didn't give any examples of how she would be different. She didn't. Listen, I mean, it takes years to take us out of the ditch after the Republicans drive us into the ditch. That's for sure. And the idea that she doesn't disagree with the way that Joe Biden proceeded to get us out of the COVID ditch, that he proceeded to get us out of the supply chain being broken ditch, that he proceeded to get us through the recovery from COVID ditch, that he gave us a child tax credit to get half of American children out of the poverty ditch. Why would she disagree with any of that? And so when they asked the question, is there anything that you would have done differently than Joe Biden? She's like, no, I really can't think of anything because I wouldn't have done anything differently either. What he did succeeded. And yes, when the supply chains were put back together and there was pent-up demand because we weren't able to move freely about the country for around 2 years, yes, there was inflation because demand was outpacing supply. And, being a capitalist and all, you would think that, the Republicans would understand that. But, oh, no, it's just a way to attack her. Attack. Because she's the enemy of the people, And the media is the enemy of the people, And it's the enemy within, and everything is.
We are a nation that no longer has a free and fair press.
Oh, my God.
Fake news is all you get. And they are truly the enemy of the people.
You hear that song that's beginning to play? That's the QAnon song. That's the QAnon song, where for a while he was like sort of putting people into some sort of a hallucination trance, where they would see him as a leader or something. I mean, it's just been so bizarre. It's just been so crazy. And everybody on Fox News is pretending that it hasn't been bizarre, that it hasn't been crazy, and that, Kamala Harris is, bad. And Joe Biden really is bad. Joe Biden is amazing. Joe Biden, there is nothing wrong with Joe Biden. Joe Biden still makes the really hard decisions on behalf of our country and makes the correct call 99.9% of the time. Joe Biden is just soft spoken, slower. He's 3? And he understood it was time to pass the torch, which I believe he always thought he would do. He always believed he would do. I always thought that. I still think that. He said he was a bridge. He said he was a transitional, and he was going to hand it off. And lo and behold, he did. But he let the media drum up this thing about he's too old to serve. Well, now Donald Trump is that age. Now Donald Trump is too old to serve. But the media's like, oh, let's pretend we never said it because we need a horse race. Let's pretend. Let's pretend Donald Trump's okay. He's not. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.